I just thought I'd do another inbox review. This time, this is the I.C.M I-153. It was Polykarpov's very last biplane design. Very successful, obviously in the first years of the Great War in Russia, from June 1941, and flew alongside the equally famous I-16. And as I say, it had quite a good record, basically defending Russia in the first 2 years of the war, and was used to great success. In fact, I think there's one still flying out in New Zealand, along with an I-16. So if ever you want to see the real thing, I'd suggest you get yourself down there. Anyway, it's an unusual subject as I'm not normally into Russian aircraft, but I got this one on such a good rate on eBay, I decided to go for it, and I thought it'd be a nice little stablemate for the I-16, which I've got in my stash. Nice sleek lines on it, unusual sort of gull wing shape that you can see there, but a nice clear field of view, very open cockpit as you can imagine. So I should imagine it got pretty damn cold in there. But as I say, it was very successful in the early part of the war out in Russia. Anyway, let's get on, without further ado, let's get on with the inbox review itself. And as is most usual with ICM kits, you've got the top cover and then it comes in a box of its own. Let's just flick the lid off, and then we've got the instruction sheet on the top here, which is more like a sort of a pamphlet, which is a nice little sort of presentation. Basically, you've got the history of the aircraft here, specifications, etc., both in Russian and English, and then you've got the Model Master Colour guide, which you can see down here, which you can cross reference on the Hobby Colour app on your Android phone. Okay. First stage, as you can see, is basically the sprue trees along here and here, and then moving on you go into the first operation of business, if I can get it right, because this is quite a loose pamphlet. Nice way they've done it, guys, I must admit. Actually, I'll just pull the camera back and then you can see a bit better. There we go. First stage, as you can see, is the internal structure of the actual cockpit frame, which you can see here. Put the seat together, as you can see here, with a floor. Any internal framework goes over it. Then you place that onto the latter part of the lower wing and add side detail to the side panels of the cockpit, which is a nice touch. I think there's some etched brass comes with this, I'm not sure. Then put the two fuselage halves together, and then obviously put the main fuselage to the lower wing, which you can see there. And then you put the upper wing along with the struts and cantilevers on the aircraft, along with the tail planes. And then obviously you've got the propeller, which you can set the pitch at. The engine assembly, which you can see here. You've even got the magnetos on the side here, so that's a nice touch, I have to say, guys. And then you obviously put that, unfortunately you're going to miss all that by the time you put the front guard on it, but at least you know it's there. As you can see, you put the engine onto the main fuselage. You got the side panels there, so you could keep one open if you should so wish and do a bit of scratch building, which is what I might well do. And then obviously the upper part of the engine assembly goes on, cockpit, windscreen and propeller and nose hub goes on. And then obviously you've got the assembly of the fuselage, the undercarriage that you see here, which is connected to the lower part of the fuselage. And then obviously you've got the gear doors, which go either side. Cantilever struts at the back there for the rear tail planes. Radiator go, oh no, you've got some more there. It depends, I suppose, on which version you're going to do. Rear tail wheel goes on, and then obviously you've got audio, ammunition and bombs which go on there, depending on which one you're going to choose. And then finally, I think that's about it. And then you've even got a guide to the rigging as well, which is a nice touch. And then obviously you've got the colour callouts. First one is an I-53 of the 70th IAP Fighter Regiment at Kalin, Goal, August 1939, which is quite a nice colour scheme. Or you've got the overall silver one. Again, you can do either, so could possibly go for that one or that one, I don't know. And then which the silver one is of the 15th IAP Fighter Regiment at Lithuania, June 1941. Next one, which is the more familiar Russian scheme with a white tail, is of the 72nd SAP Mixed Regiment of Nordfleet Air Force, Wenger, 1941. And then the final scheme, which is a nice one, is of, I think, Captain K. Soloviev, 71st IAP Fighter Regiment of the Baltic Fleet Air Force, Lavansari, I think I've spelled Lavansari, summer 1942. Okay, so there you go. So that is basically your colour scheme and colour callouts and instruction sheet. Now, there's not a lot in it, I have to say. I was quite pleasantly surprised. You get one bag of sprues, which you see there. What I'm going to do is I'll open them up. Which way do you open them up? Oh, he says. Oh, there we are. I think it's self-sealing at the back, so we should be okay. So there's not much to it. There's about 3 sprues. Take them out. Okay. Bag over the back here. First one again is the fuselage half, which is right here. I don't know if you can see it. If I can get it into shot, try and get it to focus. There we go. You're going to blooming well focus. It's not focusing. There we are. Nice level of detail. Nice recessed panel lines, which you can see there. There's your exhaust stubs. I love the fabric effect along the side ribs of the fuselage. That's quite nice. Undercarriage is quite basic. A few cantilevers here for the side panels of the cockpit, and obviously got your radiator grille right here. This is your undercarriage doors. A little bit of sidewall detail on the interior, which I think you can just about see. Okay, so that's quite nice. Could probably do a nice little bit of dry brushing and detail painting on that. So that's quite nice. Then you've got your ammunition, which you can see here, and your bomb racks, etc., and your bombs. So that's quite nicely done. Nice and crisp detail there, guys. No ounce of flash. And in here, which I'm going to keep it in there, is your windscreen. Very nicely, clearly defined, beautifully clear. And then obviously you've got the opposite side of the fuselage again. Nice effect with the ribbing on the side. Very nicely done. And then obviously you've got your magnetos here for your engine. Wing struts. Actually, this is your tail struts, so that's quite nice. There's your gun bay right there. And then on the final sprue is obviously the engine assemblies and magnetos, etc., which is very nicely done. I love the effect of the wing ribs underneath. A little bit of detail on the engine bay, which is the undercarriage bay, which is nice. As part of the internal framework of the cockpit. I don't know if you can see that, guys. Tail wheel right here. Oxygen and CO2 mask. There's your control lever. Okay. And obviously you've got your engine cowling cover. That's your engine. Nice detail on that, I have to say. Very nicely done. And obviously you've got your cockpit floor here. And that's your engine covers. Wheels. No flat spotting unfortunately on it, so you'll have to do that yourself. There's your 2-pitch propeller. Tail planes again, very nicely moulded and crisp. Love the fabric effect again, very crisply moulded. Obviously you've got your wing struts here and your upper wing right here, as you can see there. So that's very nicely moulded. Usually with some Russian kits you don't get very good moulds, but with these aircraft of theirs I think they're pretty good. So there you go. Again, I must admit the level of detail, yeah, it's not a lot to it. Oh, hang on, right here, if you can see it, you've got the control panel. Not bad, I have to say, not bad at all. So there you go. So in a nutshell, that's the actual kit itself. Now the decals, well, if it's a Russian kit, then decals are notorious for breaking up. Yeah, admittedly, they are a little bit on the thick side. So I don't know how they're going to bed down. I might will go for some aftermarket possibly, just to be on the safe side. But the thing I do like is you've even got the actual dials for the cockpit control panel. Very nicely done. So that is it in a nutshell. That's the I-153 of I.C.M.'s. Yeah, not a bad looking little kit. I should imagine it's quite a little pleasure to build. Unusual subjects of an unusual looking aircraft. I wish a lot more kit manufacturers would actually do one. But all told, a nice little model if you want to build something of the Russian campaign. I certainly look forward to building it, I have to say. It's probably going to be a fairly easy little build. I don't know what their reputation is like for their aircraft. I know some of their armour's a little bit on the crude side, but all told, it's a nice little model, I have to say. So if you want to go and get one, I would suggest you do. What it's going to be like to build, what the decals are going to be like, I have no idea. But I thought, well, it would be a nice little subject to go alongside the I-16, which I've got a moustache. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the inbox review. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon.